So as part of planning, you are going to decide on how efficiently, how best you can use the storage system. This planning includes what are your clients, how many clients do you have in focus. Let's say, yeah, example, you have three of the clients: a Citibank client, a retail client, and some airline client. Okay, so
Mhm.
based on these clients, each of the clients have specific requirements, right? Airline guys requires a very high processing. Okay, they need a very fast system, very fast volume, IO which does the transaction very quickly. Okay,
Mhm. Mhm.
Citibank, yeah, Citibank guy needs a decent speed but a high capacity because his user base is very high, very high. He needs a really high capacity storage system. Okay, or for example, a Citibank guy would need need a trade off between your efficiency, I mean your faster performance, and also your data protection, right? Means he need a
Mhm.
highly secured environment for his transactions.
Mhm.
The retail guy is not bothered about the security, but he really needs a very high capacity. Okay,
Mhm.
retail guy includes your retail store where you sell from shops to, for example, a retail of a mm, what you can say, Amazon.in. Okay, Amazon,
Mhm.
whose user base is very high. Okay, he's really not bothered about the security, but he needs
Mhm.
a high capacity system. So based on these different needs, different environments, you are going to decide on how you can define your storage system. Okay, the first
Mhm.
definition for the first definition that comes to mind is a RAID creation on the system. So you
Mhm.
create a group of raids, or you create a raid groups that are nothing but collections of different disks combined together to provide the data, to protect the data at the device level, right?
Mhm.
For example,
Yeah.
as per the decision, for the airline, for Air Asia, you would decide on RAID 1, which is like 100% redundancy, which gives 100% redundancy, 100% data protection. Okay,
Mhm.
uh, but do you suggest RAID 1 is good for airline? It, because the right performance of the RAID 0 is I mean degrades, right? Right performance of the
Uh-huh.
RAID 0 degrades. So what you do it, you would instead suggest him some other RAID, for example RAID 5. Okay, so for airline we will stick to the RAID 5, which gives a, which has a, which has a issue during the read, but at least write performance is good in RAID 5. Okay,
Yeah.
then for Citibank client, for a Citibank client, I would choose he needs a high secured environment, and his transaction should be all secure. So I would be going ahead and suggesting him RAID 1, okay, which is high secured transactions, which can secure the transactions, which can protect the transactions even if in case one of the mirror drive is lost. Okay.
Mhm.
Then for retail guy, I would definitely suggest either RAID 3 or RAID 5. Okay, which are like which provides a much more extended capacity than RAID 1. Okay, RAID 1 uses 50% of storage space, whereas RAID 5 needs only one additional drive to keep the parity, or RAID 3 needs only one on drive to keep the parity. Okay, so
Mhm.
those are the trade-offs based on the trade-off, based on the planning. The second phase of planning would be what client should be configured to what set of systems. For example, Citibank. Let's say Citibank has 10 machines, 10 are EXX server, uh, all of them are EXX servers. Okay,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
then I would decide on how to create a zones. Okay, for the Citibank, how to create a zone for the airline, how to create a zone for our retail Amazon.in. right?
Mm-hmm.
So a RAID
Mm-hmm.
configuration is also a part of planning phase. You would configure a RAID in such a way that all of these three doesn't interact with each other. Okay.
Okay.
So, for example, you take a storage port number one. Let's say you decided that storage port number one, the WWF coming from the storage port number one will have a zone, will be under a zone called airline. Okay, so this zone will be having all the machines of the airline client.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's a decision. So in that way you create three zones. Port number two will be dedicated to Amazon. Port number three will be dedicated to retail banking cloud Citibank. Like that you can decide on. Okay.
Okay.
So once you have done the zoning part, you come to RAID part. So you create a RAID groups. Okay. Out of those RAID groups, you create a volumes. That action is called as binding, LUN binding. LUN binding is nothing
Mm-hmm.
but a process of creating the process of creating the partition or a section on a bigger RAID group you have created. Okay. For example, I told you about an example of a Citibank. Citibank has 10 EXX servers. Okay. The EXX server one is a primary EXX server. Okay. Let's say, for example, EXX 1 and 2 are in a cluster, and EXX 1 or 2 are primary systems which host their database. EXX 3 and 4 host their web application, web server. EXX 5 and 6 host their application server. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, in three of these EXX, six of these EXX server, EXX one and two host their database, and that those EXX server requires a high capacity of storage. Okay. So most of the volume, let's say you have created a RAID group consisting of thousand GB. Most of the what volume has to be allocated to the EXX server one and two, right? In that case,
Mm-hmm.
case you bind a LUN of 500 GB. That's a decision, right? So 500 GB LUN will be assigned to this EX servers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Similar way, the other six EXX server needs 200 GB each. So you bind a LUN of 200 GB each. Okay. Then then the third phase is that once you create a LUN, once you create a LUN out of this storage pool, you create a entity called storage groups. Storage groups are nothing but grouping entities. A Citibank group consisting of 10 machines, Amazon group consisting of 100 machines, then uh, your airline group consisting of only two machines, like that. So
Mm-hmm.
this is nothing but a grouping entities where you add the LUNs which you have created. Actually, this action and you add a host that have been discovered, like we yesterday discussed shows, seeing the discovery of the host. Okay, those we could bring the LUNs and the group together. This action is called as LUN mapping or LUN masking.
Oh, so it's the same thing, learn matching and learn mapping in.
Yes, same thing in a sense. The concept here is different. Uh, the concept says that LUN mapping is the thing, but you are mapping a LUN to a particular set of storage ports. For example, you are
Mm-hmm.
mapping the LUN to the port number two, and port number two is connected, is zoned together with the EXX one and two.
Mm-hmm.
So that action is called as mapping. So usually the concept of mapping happens at the storage array level. Okay. Many so basically this mapping and masking are the concept of access logic. Storage
Mm-hmm.
industry calls it as access logic. How access mechanism is maintained or done by the done for the LUNs. Access mechanism for the LUNs, access logic for the LUNs. So some
Mm-hmm.
storage array call this mechanism as LUN mapping. Means they tell that I am mapping the LUNs to my storage ports, to storage system ports, that is SP ports, so that it is carried over by the zone connectivity that is done. Means that it is carried over by the client machine, client connectivity. Okay. Some
Hmm.
call it as LUN masking. I am masking port number storage port number 3, and I am adding I'm mapping it to the storage port number 1. Means I am not allowing storage port number 2 to access. I mask to I'm not going to allow you to access this LUN.
Hmm.
So LUN mapping is attaching, LUN masking is blocking. That's the concept. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
LUN mapping is done at the storage level side, and LUN masking is done at the host level. Host HPA can decide
Okay,
on
one
which
second.
LUN. Pardon?
Loan masking is done in storage.
LUN mapping is done on storage.
Okay, loan mapping is storage, right?
Yeah,
And masking is on the host.
yeah, on the host. The host HPA can decide
Okay.
on. Oh shit. Oh, we already have a picture. Okay, so this is a storage array and this is a host. Okay,
Hmm.
map.
Hmm.
I create a LUN here and map it to the A0, and I don't map it
Hmm.
to B0.
Hmm.
This concept is called as mapping. I am mapping the LUNs created here to the storage array ports. This storage array
Okay.
ports is going to carry this LUN to the client. Okay,
Hmm.
client HB is going to has a configuration saying that you have mapped the LUN for me, and this guy has well mapped one LUN for me, but I don't
Hmm.
want to access LUN number one, which is provided by A0. Means mask. I am going to HBSA is going to say that I am going to mask LUN number one, which is coming from A0, and I am going to only allow LUN number two coming from B0.
Say that again. So you are restricting LUN coming from A0, but allowing LUN coming from B0?
B0. That's true.
Okay, okay. So you're
Mask
basically restricting LUN
blocking it.
access from
Yes.
A0 and then you're allowing from B0. So basically allowing those access from the host level, right? Those LUN access, is
Yes.
that right?
That's true.
Okay.
That's true. Okay.
So that is your LUN masking then, right?
Yeah. This is LUN masking. That's right.
Okay, okay,
Okay. Yeah.
okay.
So there is still what you can say, people's confusion tactics here. What happens here is some storage array call this mechanism of mapping as a masking.
Oh,
I am going see on the storage array. They say that I have mapped a port A0, but I have masked B0 from accessing that LAN.
oh, understood, understood, understood. So that means your A0 is your LUN mapping, like B0 has an access. So when they LUN mask on the host level, they allowed access for the B0, right?
Yeah, no, I'm telling you at the storage level. At the storage level
Right.
also, people speak that on the same storage array they can map and mask it.
Okay, understood. Okay,
Understood.
understood.
But
Yeah,
for
yeah. Because
but
yeah, it's kind of confusing because even
yes,
though we say LUN masking is done at a host level,
yes,
but you can still define which one is the LUN masking and which one is LUN mapping, right? So,
yes, yes.
so that
For
means
me,
you can still find those LUN masking and LUN mapping on the storage level.
yeah, it's the assumed concept. Okay, for
Okay.
me, mapping is done at at the storage level. Masking is done at the host level. That's what I simply
Okay.
understand it as.
Yeah, yeah. I think that is the easiest way, right?
That's
So
the
even
easiest way.
though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because see, just for example, right? Let's put it a different way. Right? So let's assume that A0, the LUN is been mapped to A0 port, and A0 port on the HBA, we did the LAN masking, which allows access for access with the LAN, which is mapped to A0 access to your host, right? And but it does not provide an access from B0. So in
B0
that situation, A0 can be LAN mask and the LAN mapping as well, right?
as well. That's true. That's true. But
Okay. Okay. Understood.
yeah, but the exact mechanism is that you map a LUN to the ports, and the
Hmm.
HPA, on a HPA there is a clear configuration that you mask the LUN. I'm going to mask the LUN coming from B0 or coming from A0. That's what I make a decision as.
Okay. So what you're saying is you basically map the LAN on the port level,
Yeah.
but you will mask, you will basically provide restrictions on the host level, and that host, like that restriction or whatever you want to call it, right? Is
Yes.
done. We call in other way is the LAN masking is done on the host level, right?
No, no, no. LUN, yeah, LUN masking is done at the host level. That's right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I understood the concept. It's like LAN mapping is on the port that is done on the storage level. LAN
Yes.
masking is on the host level, and
Yeah.
LAN masking is not but providing an access for that LAN mapping port, which LAN mapping port has an access for that particular LAN, and that is
That's
decided
right.
from the
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Simply understand it that way. It's much easier.
Yeah, yeah. I think I like the way how you simplified it. It's like, LAN mapping storage, LAN masking host. So forget
Yes.
about the definition, right? So that way, at least uh, it's a lot easy to understand. So,
Yes, lot easy to
okay.
understand. And even if you are, even if you go to the interview, there will be obviously people who argue with this, but you got to explain them with an example. You're going to explain them with a clear example, saying that I do map a LAN to the host port, but on a HBA there is, I mean, if you have worked on a LSI HBA or the ABLS HBA, they will clearly tell that I mean the mapping sorry, masking can be done at the HBA level. That's a host level.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm gonna write this. I'm also writing a note. So, LAN masking is on the host, but this is done on SPA level, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
that's true.
Okay. One more. Just correct me if I'm wrong, right?
Yeah,
LAN mapping on the port and it's it's the storage level, and LAN masking is on the host and HPA level, right?
yeah,
That's
that's right.
correct.
That's
Okay.
right.
I just wanted to understand the relationship, right? So when I talk about lawn matching, so it's really clarify, okay, what is happening with level, right? So,
Yeah,
okay.
that's true. So where is my system? Okay. So let's do some practicals now. And any
Oh,
questions
awesome.
further?
No, I think I'm clear. I'm clear. I,
Okay.
I really wanted to because see, I'll tell you one thing. The the basic understanding is very, very important to understand the high level.
Yeah.
That's the reason I'm asking a lot of because storage, everything like on the storage is I'm brand new. You
Yeah.
can say I'm an elementary, okay? Because this is totally different. I never were I know stuff on the ESX side, but in the storage itself, even the
Yes.
small, minute detail is very important. And
Yes.
if you have the good foundation, then working advanced it will be very easy. So
Yeah.
so don't get me wrong. I'm asking too many questions.
Mm.
Sometimes I write a note, but
No, no,
that
no.
way
No, I'm really glad that you are asking questions, because I can feel that you are able to grab the things which makes me happy.
Oh yeah, yeah,
To be
yeah.
frank, that's why I'm, I'm,
Oh
I'm
no,
trying
no.
to
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to
Because yeah,
explain you the concept slowly so that you can grab it in a right direction.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and that is really really appreciable because you know right. It's like knowing the storage in the VMware is always it puts you in a very highlighted spot, right?
Highlighted spot.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because if you're a VMware guy, you don't speak storage. You are like you're just a VMware guy. So who
Yes.
don't get how the market is, right?
Yeah,
It's
that's true.
like you have to be really jack of all, be able to at least speak. I'm
That's true.
telling you, I'm just giving you the whole environment in the corporate world, and knowing storage is always very, very, very much valuable, to be honest.
Yeah, people needs Jack itself more of now. Jack of many many.
Yeah. Or you'll be surprised. like all these white folks is very very smart, street smart.
Mm.
They learn all these things in school, right? They learn all the things in YouTube. So when something happens, they can talk about. They don't know how to do it, but they can talk big on everything, and that is
Yes.
very. And we are like we are when we are VMware, we only focus on a VMware,
Mm.
and that sometimes it's like. It's not helping, to enhance your career. So knowing storage is definitely going to be a plus point. Uh, it-
That's true. So basically, the first part involves creating the RAID groups. So I create
okay,
right click on the storage array, and I can go ahead with the create a RAID group, or also I can create on the right click on the RAID group and also do a create. Both are same. Okay.
okay,
So you see this RAID group ID equal to 1. This is a prefetch ID. So you can connect up to 240 RAID groups on this system.
okay,
Okay. From RAID 0 to XYZ RAID to 240 RAIDs.
okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm,
Number of disk you want to use it for RAID. If you select one, then it is going to give you the recommendation. You see the recommendation here. Okay.
mm-hmm,
RAID type could be unbound, disk type, or a hot spare. Because you have made a
mm-hmm,
selection of only one disk,
mm-hmm,
so none of the RAID group you can create here. You can make it a single hot spare disk. Okay.
mm-hmm,
If you select based on that, if you select disk number of disk equal to 2, then you can support
mm-hmm,
that RAID types is RAID 10, okay, or RAID 1.
mm-hmm.
You can create
Okay,
this or this.
okay, got it.
Okay. If you do a selection of number of disk equal to 3, then it is going to give you further recommendation. You
Mhm.
can do either RAID 5 or RAID 0.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Like that
So I
with,
think those
yeah.
the rate type is basically automatically populated based on the number of the disk.
Yes, those based on the number of
Okay,
disks.
okay,
So as per my decision, I would go ahead with the first RAID group as mirror. I'm going to choose two disks. I'm going to go ahead with the mirror drive.
mm-hmm,
Okay, for my airline application.
okay,
Okay, that's the RAID type I have chosen. Select the disks. So you can do a manual selection of the disks which are free. Okay. So these are the disks which are free under the system. Now you can add it to the RAID group. Okay. So RAID group you are creating, or you can ask it to manually select the disks which are free.
okay, okay.
Yeah. There are few more options. Automatically destroy after the last LUN is unbound. This will destroy the RAID group once the last LUN is destroyed from this environment.
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
mm-hmm,
There is one more configuration: expansion defragmentation priority. So when you expand this LUN, that means if you want to further down the line, if you want to like create, for example, if you want to expand the LUN capacity or this RAID group configuration, then it will do the fragmentation. You know what is a disk fragmentation, right?
yeah, yeah.
It is going to, what you can say, channelize, organize all your data bits into a properly organized manner. Okay. So you
Mm-hmm,
can set the priority for that: high, medium, low. Okay. High
mm-hmm,
means take up the CPU load, utilize more CPU and try to do the job faster. Low means utilize less CPU and try to do the job in a much slower pace.
mm-hmm.
Okay. So here I want to do two disks RAID 1. I'll say apply. So the RAID ID will be 1.
Okay,
So that's successful. Once the RAID group is created, I can see it as RAID group 1 with two disk number 3 and disk number
okay,
4 got created.
okay.
Okay.
Understood.
So in the same way, you can create RAIDs. You can create different RAIDs. Okay. RAID 1, RAID 5. Example, I have created a RAID 5 out of 3 drives here. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
considering
You have
this,
already.
yeah, it's already created.
Okay, no problem.
No problem. No problem, right? Otherwise,
Yeah,
I'll delete it. Probably I'll clean this up later, and I'll show you
no,
tomorrow
no
the
problem.
creation.
No problem, no problem. So what you do in the RAID 5 creation is just right click on the RAID group and then select the RAID 5 and then just add the 5 disk or 5
Three,
disk, right?
yeah, 3 disks. Minimum 3 disks. Maximum could be any number of disks.
Oh, okay. The RAID add the 3 disk and that would really make the RAID 5. No problem.
Yeah.
I understood that.
So I'll show you the example. Number of disks, 3, because there is only option of 3 because I have only three drives which are free now,
Okay.
which are part of the storage system.
Okay.
All the disks are
Okay.
utilized.
Okay.
Okay. So you choose RAID 5 and you create RAID 5 out of it.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm not going
So
to use
RAID,
that.
okay, one second, one second. So you have to define a RAID group ID, right? So what is that RAID
No,
group ID?
no. There is just a selection. It can be automatic. It is just a
Oh,
selection
okay.
from the pop-up menu. The ID.
Okay. Okay. But do we have to make that ID or it'll automatically pick up?
It
Hmm.
automatically, if even if you don't specify, it will automatically pick up. This is
Okay.
just a RAID
Okay.
group
Oh,
ID. It will pick up in
okay.
a sequential manner.
Oh, okay. So ID and the RAID type is two different things. The RAID ID is a sequential number, whereas RAID type is
Yes.
actual type.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Understood.
RAID
Yeah.
ID is nothing but your what you can say. It's identifier of the RAID. It is nothing to do with the RAID group creation. Okay. It could be anything. It could be 100. It could be 200. It could be 900. It cannot be 900 obviously because our storage system supports only 239 RAID RAID 239 types of RAID that can be created.
Yep.
Okay. So that's a part of RAID group creation. Now
Mm-hmm.
let's go to the step number 2, bind LUNs. Okay, bind LUNs includes creating the LUNs. So if you see the property of it, we have created a mirror RAID. You see this capacity 66 GB, 66 GB. How much it is?
66 is times 2, right? Oh, so this
One.
is the RAID 1, right? Okay, that's the 66.
Yeah, 66 plus 66 is somewhere around 132. Okay, half of
Mm-hmm.
that 132 is 67. 132 or
Mm-hmm.
133 is 67. So because it is RAID 1, 50% of the disk is gone. Okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
cannot use it, so I can use it only 67% of it.
yeah. That's a half of it, right?
Yeah, half of it. Okay.
Okay,
So those are the property sections you can see it on this. Okay,
okay,
I'll just say okay, then right click on this and then create a bind, create LUNs. Okay, you can do a directly right click here, do a bind LUN, then select the RAID types. Okay, RAID group ID. That's too clumsy task.
automatic, right?
Okay, instead of that, right click. So you choose whichever RAID group you want to bind a LUN for. Right click on it
Mm-hmm.
and bind LUN.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here the maximum the free space is 67 GB. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's a RAID group 1. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
this is where the LUN ID starts from. LUN ID starts from 0. You can create up to 1024 LUNs for this entire storage system.
Okay. So is the LUN ID creation on the LUN is automatic, right?
Yeah, this is LUN ID is automatic. It will pick up from
Okay.
there. Okay.
Okay,
Now,
one second, one second. There are two things, okay? One is the RAID group for new LUN is equal to 1. That is also sequential automatic, right? And the
uh,
LUN ID is also sequential automatic, right?
no. See, I have done the selection of LUN ID 1, RAID group
Okay.
1.
Oh.
I have clicked right
Uh-huh.
click on it. That's why it is fetching this LUN ID
Oh.
1. If I do a right
Okay.
click on
So
this,
that.
If
Okay,
we do a
that
run,
number is basically coming from that RAID.
yes,
Okay, understood.
that rate.
Okay, okay, okay. So forget about that then.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
that is coming from the RAID group, in fact, right?
Yes, that's right. I have planned to create a LUN on this raid group. This is my
Uh-huh.
Citibank raid group. So I
Okay.
intend to create 10 LUNs on it.
Okay.
Okay. So how many LUNs I want to create? I want to create 10 LUNs of same size. So I'll say 10. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Number of LUNs equal to 10. What will be the size
Uh-huh.
of the LUN? You need to choose from here.
Okay.
Okay, the size of the LUN would be 5 GB each, or yeah, 5 GB each. So 5
Okay.
into 10, 50 GB. 50 GB will be used out of this 113 GB.
Okay.
Okay, so
Understood.
10
Uh-huh.
LUNs, or I can say I'll just create 5 LUNs, 5 LUNs of
Mm-hmm.
5 GB each.
Okay. 5 into 5 is
25.
50.
Yeah, 5 into
Okay.
5 is like 25. 25 25 GB will be used. Okay,
Okay. Understood.
see here you are assigning the ownership. See
Okay.
this? You are assigning the ownership. Which storage processor will own this LAN? Own these
Okay.
5 LANs. So SPB,
Okay.
as of now, as we have logged into the SPB, it has done this SPB. Or you can do
Yep.
auto selection. Some LANs will take SPB, some LANs will take SPA. Based on that
Mm-hmm.
configuration, you can do this. Okay.
Okay.
You can choose from size in MBs to GBs or TBs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as of now, let's go ahead with that, creating the 5 LANs of 5 GB each.
Okay.
I'll
So
say
you have assigned the owner as a storage processor B,
yes,
right?
yes, that's right.
Okay.
So when I assign it to a storage processor B, all the ports in a storage processor B should be able to access it.
Say that again.
When I assign it to storage processor B, all the ports on the storage processor B, I am mapping these LUNs to all the processor of the storage processor B. I am
Oh,
mapping,
all the port on the storage processor, you said?
pardon?
You said all those five LUNs are assigned to all the ports of the storage processor B?
Yes. When I create a LUN and this and the LUNs are, and if the storage processor B is the owner of this LUN, then by
Uh-huh.
default all the LUNs are mapped to all the ports of the storage processor B.
Oh, okay. So what you just did was you basically mapped your. No, 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 no. This is where we're talking about the mapping learning, right?
Yes,
One second,
yes,
okay? Okay. So
that's right.
what you're saying is you do the LUN mapping to storage processor B when you
Yeah,
map the LUN mapping to storage processor B. All the ports on the storage processor B will have access for that assigned LUN, right? So that means,
yes,
right?
yeah, that's
So
right.
let's say in that storage processor B, how many ports would that have? Like how many ports does it has?
4 ports,
Uh,
4 fiber channel ports.
oh, that fiber channel port, right?
Yes, yes. As of now, this storage array has 2 fiber channel ports.
Uh-huh. But your A is not working, right?
No, A is working. A is absolutely working, but I have not mapped.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I have not explicitly mapped it. My owner,
Okay.
the owner of this LUN is B. Okay. Now let's
Right,
create
right,
two
right.
more LUNs. I'm
Uh-huh.
going to create two more LUNs. I'm going to bind two more LUNs, and the owner of these two LUNs would be A.
Oh, so that means you can assign it either SPA or SPB without the multiple LUN, right? It's not necessarily even, right? So you can, what you just did was five LUN, you assign it to SPB,
Yeah.
and then another 10, you assign it to SPA.
Yes, that's
Okay,
right.
understood. So what I'm
Absolutely.
saying is like when you map those 10 LUNs to SPA, all the four fiber channel port will have access for that 10 LUNs,
Yes,
right?
that's right. That's absolutely
Okay.
right. Okay.
Okay. Understood. Yep.
So I'm creating a two LUNs of 10 GB each.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So now I got 5 plus 2. I should have. Six, seven LUNs. Those are the seven LUNs.
Okay, those are the seven LAN. The red group. Where are the other three LANs? The one that you created earlier on SP.
These five LUNs of 5 GB each.
Remember, you created the first one also, or did that all the LAN are? Uh, I was just trying to see. You created LAN twice, right? The first one you created like five LANs, and the second time you created 10 LANs. Is that right?
Yes. No. First time I created five LUNs. Second time I created two LUNs. Two LUNs of 10
Oh,
GB
okay.
each.
Okay, so where are those LAN?
These are the two LUNs second which I created second time.
Oh, okay. That because I was just trying to understand the by the interface, right? So
Yeah.
as soon as you create the LAN will be grouped into their one location, and you can just view all created LAN,
Yeah.
right? And
These LUNs are binded under this RAID group, right?
oh, okay. Oh,
These
yeah,
are
yeah, yeah, yeah.
these LUNs are child of this group.
Oh, okay.
If I do a bind LUN here on the RAID group one, let's say I create uh, three LUNs, three LUNs of 3 GB each, three LUNs
Mm-hmm.
of 3 GB each. Okay, apply.
Uh-huh.
Okay, see
Okay.
this? So I have three LUNs
Okay.
created for this RAID group. LUN number 8, 9,
Okay.
and 10.
So what did you call that terminology? Did you call the LAN binding to that RAID group, or what did you terminology you said?
This one,
No, what was the terminology?
yeah, LUN binding. LUN binding.
Understood. Okay. So LAN, what you just did was you basically created the LAN and you bind it to that the corresponding RAID group, right?
Yes,
So this is much easier. Okay. I would as I said, right? My first time, I just want to make sure that where to find
yes,
this LAN, the
yeah,
one you just created. Okay, so it's pretty
yes,
straightforward. Then
yeah,
whatever RAID group you have, you right click on that, create a LAN, and once you create and finish it, that LAN is going to get bound to that corresponding RAID group, and we
yes,
should be able to underneath that RAID group, right? So okay,
yes, that's
pretty
right.
clear.
Simple.
So
Okay.
on the RAID 5, you created the first five RAID LUN, and then you added another two
Yes,
LUN, that LUN number 6 and the 7, on the same RAID group 100 RAID 5, right?
that's right. And the next
Okay, got
three,
it.
and the next three I created on a different RAID group.
Yep, understood that.
Okay,
Yep.
simple. Okay, so that's a step number two on our task. Okay,
So what we just did is LUN binding, right? Okay,
LUN binding,
binding LUN.
binding LUN.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
step number three
Uh-huh.
is really a task where you decide on with the client. What would be my client? Okay, for example, you see here the client could be based on the name, the client could be based on the system, the client could be based on the environment, anything. This is just a grouping entity.
But how does that something you create, or that is by built-in?
i'll
The Clarion has.
no I'll show you that. I'll show you that you create.
Oh, okay. I think I missed. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just removing it out so that it don't confuses you. Okay, I'll
Yeah, yeah,
create
yeah,
a fresh ones
yeah,
so
yeah,
that
yeah.
you're clean on the this thing. Okay,
Oh, so we have.
according to our decision, we'll go ahead with our own three clients. That is a Citibank, the Amazon, and your airline. Let's say United Airlines. Okay, so RAID group part will be empty. Same like the storage group part will be empty initially. You got to
Oh.
create the groups. Create RAID group. Name your RAID group. Citibank. Okay. Say
Mm-hmm.
okay. So one RAID group created successfully. Okay.
Storage group, right?
Yeah, sorry, one storage group created successfully. I'm going to create another storage group called as Amazon. Amazon.in. You can give it any name. Okay, Amazon.in. Okay,
Okay.
third group. I'll right click on this. Create a third group called as United Airline, UI Airline. Right.
Okay.
So three groups created.
So storage group, right?
Three storage groups created. Okay. Now, what is this
Okay.
storage group all about? Storage group is all about bringing the LUNs and the host ports which are discovered under one group entity, to say that you are going to allocate, you're going to give the access permission of to this host to this LUN. Okay.
Okay.
Here
Storage group.
this is where you are doing the actually the mapping mechanism. Okay. this,
Oh, okay.
this, this is like this is like your master slave allocation, binding the
Mm-hmm.
lands here, binding the lands. This is only the ownership of the lands. Actually binding
Mm-hmm.
you are doing at the storage group level. So how do you do the binding?
Binding
Let's
is
say
done.
pardon.
You're saying binding is done on the storage group level?
Yeah, binding is actually done at the storage group level. Okay. So
Okay.
how do you bind
Uh-huh.
it? For example, let's say Amazon in. Okay, the EXX server 16 what we have is considered like it's part of the Amazon.in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here we have discovered here we have discovered yesterday we did a zoning, right? We did a zoning
Mm-hmm.
to our EXX server 16. So that's the
Mm-hmm.
only host available with me now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this task would have been done previously itself. Zoning and discovery. This should be ready by the time you plan to configure your storage system.
Mm-hmm.
Means here all the Amazon's host will be listed, all the Citibank's host will be listed, all the what you can say United Airlines host will be listed. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I have a listing here, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this host under this Amazon.in. So these are the discovered host. I'm going to put this host under the, see this
Connected host.
connection host to be connected. So
Okay.
Amazon.in has now a host to be connected, and I go to the LUN section and I bind this LUN to the host. Okay, LUN number
Mm-hmm.
6 and LUN number 7, which these are the LUN number 6 on RAID group 100. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Mm-hmm.
of RAID 5, LUN number 6 and 7 I'm going to bind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can bind any of the LUNs as you require from any of the storage group, regardless of the
Mm-hmm.
storage group.
Okay.
Okay, I can bind LUN
Mm-hmm.
number 8, 9, 10 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me bind 8, 9, 10 as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be getting the LUNs 10 GB, 10 GB, 3 GB, 3 GB LUNs are binded. When I
Mm-hmm.
say apply, okay, okay, okay. Now you see this, the LUNs got attached to this host, this EXX server host WWNN and WPN.
Mm-hmm.
Got it?
Okay. I was trying to understand that. So what happened with that? That's one of the things that I was. Okay. Okay. Okay.
So these five LANs are now attached to this host WWNN and
Okay.
WPN. Means
Uh-huh.
these five LANs have can be accessed via this WWNN and WPN. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
these are the targets. Targets are attached. Sorry, these are the targets. Targets are attached to the initiator WWN number.
Okay, that is a host, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, let me repeat one more time. So your target is LUN 6, LUN 7, LUN 8, LUN 9, LUN 9, and the 10.
Yes.
That is your target, right? That is your target. And
Yes.
your your source is the host 20 dot whatever, right?
Yes.
The FBA coming with
Yes.
it 34. So what you just did is basically create bind your LUN
Yeah.
from the storage group and basically assign to that whatever the SBA port group, right?
Yes.
Once you assign to that SBA port group, which is WWPN,
Yes.
then all those LUN that you created is basically now are accessible for that WWPN, that HBA for that ESXi.
Yes. That's right. That's right.
Oh,
If you see this
okay. So that
LUN,
is the reason I'm seeing all your source is 34, 34, 34, right?
yes, source is a 34. Your client, your initiator is a 34. 34
Uh-huh.
WW initiator is now able to access this target LAN number 6.
Oh, okay, 1 second. Here's the question. This is very, very good questions. Okay. Okay. You know what? Let me just give me a second. Let me move your screen because right now your screen is so blurry.
Oh,
Yes,
it's
much
blurry.
clearer. No, no, no. You're fine. It's just my screen. Okay. Okay. So you basically highlight on the LUN 6. So when you right click on that, LUN ID is there. The unique LUN ID that is
Yes.
very, very important for me.
Yes.
Okay. Because you see, I told you yesterday, right?
Yes.
The challenge that we have is anytime any data store has some issue
Yes.
from the storage team, they call us and hey, I'm having a problem with this, right?
Yes.
And what they're asking for us is like, how do we map those NAA number with the
Yes.
corresponding unique ID?
Yes.
They want the VMware vStander to convert the NAA or map to the NAA number to their unique ID. So
Unique.
my question is, right, those the whatever hexadecimal unique ID is
Yes.
that one, and that is
Yes.
automatically created. Is that right statement?
Yes. That's the automatic ID for this LAN, which is auto created by the system itself. This
Uh-huh.
Power operating system gives a unique ID to each of the LANs created.
Oh. So can we call that unique ID a device ID also? Or
No,
that is
no, no,
different?
no, no, no. This is not a device ID. This
Okay.
is not a physical ID itself. It's a virtual ID created on the virtual entity called as a LAN. LAN is a virtual entity
Okay.
on the RAID, on the physical RAID. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So
So
on the
what would be the device ID? If I want to add the device ID of
Mm,
that LAN, what would be
yes.
that? What would be that device
So
ID?
this device ID is your ID of your system, Clarion system.
Oh, so that be WWN.
That is your serial number, APMMM, whatever it is coming up with.
Oh, so what they're asking is device ID. I think
Uh,
you know what I'm just trying to understand because this is one of the things I'm working on is like
uh,
the reason I'm asking this is the storage team has some issue with the storage and then they want us to install the EMC VSI appliances and
okay.
some reason EMC VSI appliance once you install in the vCenter,
Uh-huh.
they have a way to map your NAA into device ID. And I think I don't think that they are referring to device ID. They
No.
are referring it to unique LAN ID.
Yes, they are referring
Because
it
the
to the
device
unique.
ID would be one, right?
Yes, that's true. They are referring it to the unique ID, unique LAN ID.
LAN ID. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. Because I think that's what I'm saying. The storage team is he's not really using the right terminology because your
yes,
device ID would be just one device ID coming from
yes,
whatever the storage device. If it's a VMAX, VMAX has one WWN, right? It's a
yes.
Clarion,
That's true.
Clarion has. What they're looking for is that particular NAA, which is
NA.
the target, right?
Yes,
The corresponding LAN ID. So that
yes,
means you can go to the storage console and then you just whatever the LAN ID is. It's a LAN 0.
yes.
Okay, LAN 6, right? And right click on the LAN 6 real quick. So what he's referring it to is that
This ID.
unique LAN ID. That's
Yes.
what I'm looking at.
This
Exactly.
is the NA
Okay,
ID.
I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Okay. Yep.
So
This is hexadecimal, right?
this is a hexadecimal. Yeah. This LAN
Okay.
ID, this unique ID, how it is connected? That's a question.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
It's
Okay.
connected via your fiber channel WWA number where you have zoned it. Okay.
Okay.
You remember
Uh-huh.
you zoned this ID
SPB.
and this ID, SPB's WWA number front end port.
Uh-huh.
what is that, 69.
Yep.
It's mapped via port number 3. If you see this, I'll show you
Uh
this.
huh.
You remember this port, okay? It's 50 zero
Yeah,
six
yeah, yeah.
zero one 69. Okay,
Yeah, that's the WWPN, right?
yeah, we
We
have
zoned
zoned
it.
it. Okay, where do I see it? Properties, connectivity, just a minute. Host, host
There
map.
is an SPA.
I just wanted to see where that information B2, B3. Can you see the ownership is SPB, ownership is SPA, launch, host. Ah, I'll get you that information. It's a B3
Okay.
port which is connected to the LAN. Okay, how do I get that B3 port? Properties. That's a storage system. It is connected to owner. Okay. Anyway, that's not significant. But internally, it's mapped to the B3 because we have zoned the B3 port. Okay. Sorry. It's here. It's here. It's here. It's here. Properties, connectivity status. See this? This initiator is host to the is mapped to the B3 port.
B3 port, where do you get that B3?
This one, B3 port, right? I just showed you. Storage processor B, port number 3.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, okay, okay.
Okay. So that
Uh-huh.
connectivity is shown here. This is
Okay.
this list LUN 6 is is going to this initiator via B3 port.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a mapping information I just wanted to show you.
Okay, you show me that one, the LUN 6 one more time. I know you, I saw that B3, the number that you were trying to show me is LUN 6, right?
You were
Show
able
me
to see
that
it
number.
there. Right click on the LUN 6.
Yeah, yeah, what is that number?
Which one?
Is that number and the S to the WWPN of that is same, right?
Which
Okay, okay, that's a okay,
That's
okay,
entirely different altogether. This is auto
okay, okay.
generated
So
number.
that's all right. You know what I'm saying is like, if somebody wants to know that LUN 6 it has some problem, then I can give you my WWN and WWPN,
Yes.
and then that is basically correspond with my LUN ID, which is 6 dot whatever that unique
Yes.
ID, right? The LUN
That's
unique
right.
ID. I'm just trying to give that information. My only concern is where do I find those information?
Yeah.
So that I think I know where those information can be
Yes.
found.
So this is on the LUN ID directly. Now we
Okay.
okay. So we have
Yep.
mapped 5 LUNs. Let's discover those 5 LUNs on our EXX server.
Okay.
Let's go to the EXX server. My EXX server 16. USC use A2 at the rate SSSPL. Did they really power it up? This guy has not powered on the 16 machine, man. Just give me hold on a minute. I'm going to call him up.
Sure.
भैया ये you have powered did Okay, so basically he was confused with IP 16 and 15, so he powered on 15 instead of 16. Okay, so anyway, ESX host has come up. Okay,
Okay.
we would be able to see the all the filings that we mapped onto this EXX server, and probably create them as a data store or as such.
So we have already created LUN, right? So we are
Yeah.
able now. We are trying to do storage group. Storage group. Now we are trying to do host connection, right? Connect
Yes,
host.
I mean, we have done the host connection as well. We are going to discover these LUNs which have been connected to the host on the EXX server and map them as a data store,
Okay, connect host
remote data
already
store.
done. Can you show me how did we do that? Connect host one more page, right?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. You need a quick recap.
Connect
So
host.
what we
Yeah,
did?
connect host.
Okay, what we did? First coming from the stage of zoning,
Mm-hmm.
we physically attached EXX server host and the storage port B3. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
B3 to the switch. Okay,
Okay.
we did a
Yep.
zoning. That part is clear, right?
Mm-hmm.
as
Mm-hmm.
we as we did the zoning, the host was able we were able to discover that host under this
Uh-huh.
part. You got that?
Yeah. So after joining, we are able to see that host, right? Host
Yes.
SBA.
Yes, after
Okay.
zoning we were able to discover that the zoned host
Mm-hmm.
got discovered on the storage array storage system.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, and connected to the B3 port.
Okay.
That's fine now. Okay, that's the first part.
Mm-hmm.
The second part lies
Uh-huh.
in as the host is connected, I am now the initiator is connected to the target. Initiator is discovered in the target. Now initiator and
Mm-hmm.
target can talk to each other. So the target can
Mm-hmm.
assign the LUN to the initiator. Okay. Now
Mm-hmm.
the next step is target has to assign the LUN to the initiator because initiator is asking for the LUN storage space. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now as part of
Mm-hmm.
that step, we created a RAID group. Okay.
Okay.
RAID group has a RAID definition under it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And on
Mm-hmm.
that RAID group, we binded a LUNs. LUN number 1 to 7, and we also binded LUN number 8 to 9 on a RAID group 1.
Okay, just right click bind LUN. Okay.
Right click bind LUN. Once the LUN bind is complete, we went ahead and created a storage groups.
Okay.
Okay. Under storage group, we mapped the host port with the specified LUNs we want. We mapped
Okay.
the host port with the LUNs we want.
Uh-huh.
We mapped the LUNs to this host WWN host.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Once we host, the discovery is completed. The LUN binding is completed, or LUN
Mm-hmm.
connectivity is completed. Okay. So all these LUNs should be now visible on my EXX server host.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hey, quick question. Quick question. One
Yes.
second. So you said the bind LUN, right? Isn't the bind LUN is when you create the LUN in that state?
Yeah. The yeah. The concept is, yeah, the concept varies from storage to storage. Here they call a bind LUN because they are allocating here the owner IDs. Right click, if I do a bind LUN, this guy is binding this LUN to this storage processor B, binding to this owner
Oh,
storage processor A. So the concept
oh,
here is the concept on the Clarion is this way. But when you go to
okay.
HP MSS storage array, they don't have a concept of ownership there. They
Oh,
just create LANs. They have an option of instead of binding LANs, this mechanism is called as create LAN by a default
mhm.
owner. The owner will be default internally. He will not be shown to you. Okay. Then
Okay.
there,
So what you see is bind LUN is when you create the LUN, right? And the bind it to your storage processor, right?
yes, this is binding
Okay.
LUN to the, you can say it as this is binding LUN to the particular owner, particular storage processor. This is
Okay.
binding the LUN from the store. This is binding the LUN to the host port. This, sorry,
Which one is host port?
this binding, or you can call this as mapping. We are mapping the
Okay.
LUN to this host ports. Here we are creating a bind between the LUN and the owner or storage processor. Here we are mapping the LUN to this host port. The more appropriate term, we'll use it as mapping.
Okay, so on the storage group, you are basically mapping your LUN to the host, right? In the
Yes,
storage group.
yes, that's right.
Okay,
Okay,
okay, okay,
we'll
okay,
use the appropriate term mapping. We are mapping the LUN to the host port. When now the
okay,
mapping is completed, once the mapping is completed, all my connectivity is proper. My host can now access these all LUNs which are mapped to it.
okay.
Okay, so now I go to
Mhm.
my host, that is my 16. Okay, go to my configuration, storage, adapter, and if I see this, which one, this is mapped, so I would be able to see all the 5 LANs which are mapped there. Okay, and each LAN I
Mhm.
can identify with a NAA. So this NAA
So that is the
correspond,
same NAA, right?
pardon, yeah, this
That is the
yes, this NAA corresponds to a NAA on the LAN ID. So what is the
okay.
NAA of
Oh
this?
yeah, this is okay. Arif, yeah, this is very important for me. Is show me that the LUN ID NAA.
Yeah. Okay.
So are all those five LUN is the same LUN, right? LUN ID or
No,
different LUN ID?
these LANs have a different unique LAN ID. They are unique. They are unique to their. I'll show you the uniqueness. So this is
Okay.
somewhere here. FC FC if you see FC D4 FC
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
D4.
FTD.
This is FC D4. Okay. This is
Okay.
FD D4. This is
Oh, so these are different ones.
068F.
NAA number.
This is zero six
Okay.
line. This is 06A. So the uniqueness line is lies in some or the other word.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is
Mm-hmm.
FCD4 corresponds to okay, FCD4 correspond to this. This is my LAN number 6.
Okay. Are we saying the LUN number 6 is that one?
Yes, because this, you see
Okay.
this?
Can you drag it a little bit to the right, ESXi? Because I cannot see the LUN ID of
Okay.
from the story.
Yeah,
No,
just
not
just
from there.
yeah,
Yeah,
just
that 11, right? Okay. So LUN number 6, LUN ID is B3811, right? Can you drag it over to the right now? Uh,
just 1 second. I'm trying to adjust my screen.
okay.
Property.
So that is your Linux. So unique ID is NAA number, right? On that you see in the vCenter.
Yes.
Okay, 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 okay. So
Uh,
that is my
if
NAA.
I can open it up. Mm,
No, no, no. What do you want? You want to copy? You just copy it. Right click and click copy clipboard.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, can I paste it over here?
yeah.
Windows
Just note that.
Run Notepad. Paste. Yeah. Okay, that is good.
Okay. Now also can if you can copy those runtime, right? So it's what a control zero, what a target zero and L1. I want to see that number on the
These.
storage as well. Yeah.
Okay, let me see.
So that way, I know exactly where to find this control.
Uh,
Yep. Okay.
no, it is copying only the NA.
Only the,
You want this runtime name as well, right?
yeah, runtime. I want to see like how do we correspond in that information on the storage device itself.
Hold on, I'll rename and I'll copy it. No, only renaming entity is this. So I can
Okay.
copy. I can take a screenshot though.
Yeah. That'd be fine. I just want to see like if I have to find those particular LUN,
Mhm.
where do I find those controller target and then L? What did the L stand for? I'll find it out.
Yeah,
I know.
it's a controller ID, target ID, and the LAN ID.
Oh, LAN ID, right? LAN
Yeah.
ID is one. Okay.
Okay, so we have this property, then we have this. Yeah, now we can correspond to it. Da, 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 da.
Okay, 1 second. Okay. So that this NAA is the LAN unique ID, right?
Yes.
Uh, why is it showing your LUN is number one and then LUN ID is LUN six
Hmm,
number
this
there?
this
Yeah.
mapping is with respect to EXX server. EXX server has
Oh,
discovered and assigned its own LAN ID to it.
so that is
It's
it.
nowhere in
Okay.
coordination. It's nowhere in coordination with the LAN ID on the storage system.
Oh, so forget about LUN zero, LUN whatever, right?
Yes,
So you always look for the NAA, right? That's your
yes,
unique ID.
that's right. We look
What
for the
about
NA.
that? What about that? Your controller, target, and
Yes,
L1? Where do
this
we
is
find those numbers?
yeah. This is again with respect to your EXX server. EXX
Mm-hmm.
server, for example, this EXX server, this is the only controller. This is controller number one, HBA number one, and this is a port
Mm-hmm.
number one. So internally, the HBA, this HBA is identified as controller zero here on the EXX server,
Oh,
and the
uh,
first port number one of this HBA is the target zero. If there is a one more port, then it will target one. If there is one more port, then it will be target two. Okay.
oh, so that target zero is the port of the SAN port, FT port.
No. It's say this also doesn't correspond to anything on the storage system. This is all on the mapping of the EXX server. On the EXX
Oh, okay.
server, there is a controller zero with a port zero called as target zero, and it has discovered one of the LUN called as LUN zero.
Oh, so this is automatically created by ESXi SBA then. Is that the right statement?
Yes, this is automatically created because there is a it is automatically created by the EXX layer because there is a HBA on it.
Oh, okay. So that's fair enough. So on that runtime, whatever information that is ESX, right? That has
Yeah,
nothing to
this
do with.
so after this identifier there, right? This after this
Uh-huh.
identifier, whatever the entity comes in, it's all EXX servers in
Okay,
here.
so forget about LUN 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I think in actuality, right, if
Yeah,
we had to do any troubleshooting,
yeah,
all we have to find out is find out what is your host bus adapter status is, and
yes,
then find the LUN, right? Find
yeah,
the
that's
LUN
it.
ID and number.
Yes,
That's it. How
yeah,
about this path? Are
yeah,
we touching the path?
yes. We have to consider that. See, this path defines from which target it is coming from. The target is a storage port B3's ID. B3's WWNN and WPN.
Okay.
See this? This
Show me that
5006.
target ID. Can you show me it from the storage?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So this is your physical, this guy.
Port B, right?
Yeah.
SP
For
port
five
B,
zero
port B.
six nine 6941
Okay,
5001
okay.
69. So this is the ID. This is the target ID. Means you have this path, this controller, and this controller zeros port number zero, uh, with discovered LUN number zero is coming via this target path. That's why it's target over here, and it is
So
coming in.
target pack is the 1 second, okay? WWPN of the storage array.
Yes, WWNN and WPN of the storage array.
Oh, so that means that is the WWN and WWPN of the storage of the target, right?
Yes,
The target is basically coming from the storage device, and the
yes,
first eight is the WWNN, and
yes,
the for last eight is like your WWPN, right?
yes. That's right. Okay, so this
Are
data.
all those you see that you have like how many paths? Um, one, two, three, four, five,
No, these are not
six.
five paths. These are five LUNs. Five
Oh, these
LUNs.
are. Oh,
Yes, five LUNs coming from
oh,
only one path.
yeah, yeah, yeah. From the same path, right?
Yeah.
Because we have assigned five learn to
Yes.
that particular port. That's
Yes.
why we are seeing that, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, I want to see. You see that? Why is it? Okay, so you if you read that, I mean, not necessarily. I'm just asking too many questions. You see that on that detail form, right? You see target one, which is target one is the WWPN or
Yes.
WWN or WWPN of the storage,
Yes.
and device five. Device five is what? What does that mean?
Five LUNs. Five LUNs.
Five learn.
Device in the sense
Oh,
five LUNs means it is seeing one LUN as one coming from one device. Device one. Another LUN is
uh-huh.
also a device for this. Another LUN is also a device for it.
Now, why are you saying path? The path is also like we
Uh,
haven't really
yeah.
multi-pathing.
This
We
this
haven't
I
done the multi-pathing.
Yes, this I really don't know why EXX server displays it as five paths. It's a EXX
Mhm.
terminology, I guess. I'm not sure about why they are displaying it as five path because there is only one path,
No.
the path
Yep.
between this guy, the initiator, the client, and this guy,
Uh-huh.
target. And
Uh-huh.
these initiator and target are now correspond. They can talk via five LUNs. Means this guy,
Okay,
this.
one second, Ari, one second, okay? So, if somebody asks me about, hey, can you give me the target, source and the target WWN? If somebody asks me that question, then what I can do is
You have to come
go
here.
find it from here, right? So I will
Yes,
go find the HBA first, get the WWNN and the WWPN, which is
yes,
on
that's
the
right.
HBA2,
Yes,
your detail on the second line. The first eight is like your WWNN, and the second eight is
yes,
your WWPN.
yes.
This is of the HBA of the initiator, right?
Yes,
And
in
the
target,
corresponding target is, right,
the corresponding target is this. Yeah.
the one below. So did you find that from the device or the path?
No, on the other path. So this will come on the
On the
path.
path, right? Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
So
okay.
you as a EXX administrator will not have the access to the storage systems. So only thing
Okay.
you can understand is come here to the storage adapter, see the device. Okay, you have a device ID. This is the LAN ID. Now you want a host. You want to in target. So the target is this guy.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, okay, HBA, my WWNN, the device LAN ID here, and this is the target. Okay. We're going to go one more time on the device, please. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll repeat one more time. So with this particular like page, we can find out the WWNN and WWPN of the host bus adapter of the ESXi.
Yeah.
We can find out the corresponding LAN ID. And if
Yes.
you go to the path, you can also find the target NN and the target WWPN.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, understood now.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, very clear now. You see that this is what I need is like what how does it relate from the
Mm.
storage to the
Yes.
ESXi? So
Yes.
if I know this, then at least I know where to isolate the issue. Okay, I'm good, Dari. Thank you so much for
Okay.
explaining that.
Yes. So now it's discovered here via the show and show path. You can go ahead and create a data stores on it. Okay.
Okay,
Add storage,
okay,
disk and LAN. Create a data store on the fiber channel. Okay. It is our
uh-huh,
fiber channel. So you should be able to discover all the filans. Okay.
okay,
Filans with five different paths. So I want to
okay.
create and you can see the size as well. Okay.
Mm-hmm,
So on what data
mm-hmm,
store on what LUN or volume you want to create a data store? Let's see, I'll create it on a 10 GB data store, or I'll create it on that LUN number 6, identifying the exact LUN number 6 as DD. Okay,
mm-hmm.
so VMFS5, next data store Clarion, Clarion LUN 6 data store. Okay, all the 10 GB, maximum 10 GB utilized, and there you go, your
Mm-hmm.
data store is available. You can create a virtual machine on the data store, on this data store,
Mm-hmm.
as
Okay,
a IO path. So
okay.
right click new machine, and I'll allocate a machine to this data store.
Okay.
Next, new
Hmm.
virtual machine, test, data store. I'm just going to create a container. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how much how much space you want to utilize? I want
Yeah,
to,
yeah,
yeah,
just a few.
yeah, complete 8 GB. I'll utilize it.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
now you see only 911 MB is free because there is a machine that got created. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go. 8 GB VMD
Uh,
disk.
okay.
So now I am able to pump the
Okay.
IO also to this machine. So if you see this, go to the LUN number 6, and if you see the statistics, properties, statistics, okay, it got created. So there is no IO, there is no active IO that is flowing in because the
Okay.
volume got immediately created. Okay, you should be able
Okay.
to see
Hmm.
the read and write throughputs on this system, on this LUN.
Hmm.
Okay, and any
Hmm.
questions?
Yeah, I think I'm clear. One more time. Let's go to the ESXi. I just want to ramp it up. Oh, let's go to ESXi.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to confirm one information. So, what you just did was okay. So as soon as the LUN is, as soon as we connect the LUN with the host, right? You go to the storage adapter, right? You go to the
Yes.
storage adapter, ESXi.
Yeah.
Can you click on that?
Yeah.
And then you choose your SVA, and then you should be able to see your LUN, right? Right there
Yes.
underneath
All the
that
LUNs.
device, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if you see that, that means we are able to connect those LUN to the host, right? That tells you.
Yes. Here it
Um,
shows that discovery is successful. All the LUNs are can be accessed by the initiator.
oh, the discovery successful. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Then once the discovery is
Okay.
successful, I just go ahead and create a data stores, add
Okay.
storage.
Sometimes, I know this might be a VMware question.
Yeah.
Sometimes, as soon as you storage folks create a LUN, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't really see that. On that time, we basically right click and then scan those fiber FCA or the
Yes.
SBA,
That's
and
right.
then right, and then so that way we can list all the device, right? So you go to the
Yes.
device, isn't it? Go to SBA2
Yeah.
underneath device, right? You will see all those LUN listed, right?
Yes. We go here,
Okay.
storage adapter, come here, then rescan all HBAs.
And then okay, and then this will be listed underneath device, I believe, right?
Yes. This will be listed under
Okay.
devices.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I thought no, this is this VMware, but I just thought I asked. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm clear now. This way I know a complete life cycle, right? A complete like circle is how does the LUN created? How is this has been assigned? How is it being connected to the host group?
Yes.
What the host group and the connection has been, or once the discovery is completed
Yeah.
of that LUN, we can go ahead and create the VMFS
Yes.
data store
Yes.
because those LUN will be available in our VS center. Okay,
Yeah.
I think I'm all good.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So that